Hello, wonderful students. How are you today? Welcome back to school. Happy Monday. Okay, so what we're going to learn today is the Articles of the Constitution of the United States. So the Constitution has 7 articles, and that's what we're going to learn today. And so today you're only going to take notes on each slide, and if you miss anything, I also put the link to this PowerPoint on the classroom page. So this is the 4th lesson, lesson 4, the Articles of the Constitution of the United States. So I'm going to give you a couple of seconds for each slide to write stuff down, and then I'm going to go on. All right, so the first slide, the United States Constitution has 3 parts. So that's 3 groups, 3 parts. This lesson is on the 7 articles. So the other day you learned the preamble. Oh, that's a bad glare. How's that? The other day you learned the preamble, which is the introduction. Today we're going to learn the 7 articles, siete. All right? So the 7 groups of one of the 3 parts. Is that, where did we go? A little back. That light is terrible. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay, so the 7 articles are the, I can't read backwards, plan of government for the United States. So what the 7 articles are is the plan. It says what the government plans to do or how the government plans to run. Okay. So, Article 1 sets up the legislative branch of government. It creates the U.S. Congress. So, I'm going to show you this real quick. As you're still writing that down, Article 1 and yes, it is pajama day, so that's why I have this shirt on. Okay, so what that says is Article 1 is the legislative branch, and the legislative branch is the same thing as Congress. And Congress has 2 houses, but we're going to get into that in a little bit. So Article 1, legislative branch equals Congress. So when they talk about Article 1, they're talking about legislative branch and Congress. They're all the same. Okay, so the next thing says only Congress can make federal laws for the United States. So federal means national, it means central. It's the big government. It's not Connecticut, it's not Stanford, it's the whole country. So I'm going to also put that down. Okay, so federal equals the government in charge of the whole country. So that means they're making laws. So the word legislative actually means to legislate. So, to legislate means to make laws. So this branch, this group, makes the laws for the country. And that's what it says here. Only Congress can make federal laws for the United States. So this group, Congress, legislative branch, Article 1 is making the laws for the United States. Oopsies. Okay, so then Article 2 sets up the executive branch of government to provide leadership for the country. So Article 2 you're probably really familiar with because that's the president. So let's use red. So Article equals okay, so Article 2 is the executive branch, and the executive is the president and anyone who works directly for him. So him or her, maybe one day, hey, we're working towards it. So the president has this branch, okay, and that's the second. And they're the second because while Congress makes the laws, the executive branch executes them. So another way of saying execute is carries out. Another way of saying carries out is enforce. And another way of saying that is they make sure people are following the laws. So the president is in charge of the executive branch. I bet you all probably know who that is. That is Barack Obama. He was our president a couple of years ago, but you still call him President Obama. No matter who the person is, whether they're president still or not, you still always call him president. Okay. So I really just want to add real quick that the president makes sure that the people are following the laws. Okay, so, oops, this is in the way. So the president's job is to make sure that the people are following the laws that Congress created. So Congress created the laws. The president makes sure people follow them. And then the third group, which is Article 3, is Article 3 sets up the judicial branch, government. The Supreme Court is the highest court in the land. Okay, so it's not ripping. All right, so the judicial branch, Article 3. Equals judicial branch. And you can kind of see the word judge in there because they're judging. So the judicial branch equals the Supreme Court. Okay. And if anyone knows what supreme means, it's the highest level. There's nothing above it. So supreme means the highest. Nothing goes above the Supreme Court. So if your court case goes all the way to the Supreme Court, that's the last place it can go. It can't go to any other court. It could go to courts before the Supreme Court, but not after, because they are supreme, the best, the highest, the most prestigious. You get it, yeah, they're just up there. Okay. Article IV, all right? So I'm going to show you Roman numerals real quick. So if you see this, that equals 1. This equals 2. This equals 3. IV equals 4. V equals 5. VI equals 6. And VII equals 7. And these are called Roman numerals. So if you ever get confused with when it has those numbers, you can look them up. They're called the Roman numerals, okay? So just look them up on the internet or just refer to that right there. So that's what each one means. All right, so that's why we're on Article 4 now. So IV, because V is 5, and if you put 1 in before it, it's -1, so it's 4. So Article 4 tells how the states relate to each other and to the federal government. So there's 50 states in America. So how does Connecticut work with the federal government? How does Massachusetts, Florida, all of those? So here's the federal government, the big guy, the central, and then you have certain states. So you have Massachusetts, Virginia, North Carolina. This article also tells how many new states may be admitted to the union. So how many states can we have? Well, whenever we want a new one, this article tells us how to add them. All right? Article 5 is pretty cool. It tells how the Constitution may be amended or changed. So the word amended means changed. So to amend equals to change. All right? So if they want to make an amendment or a change, they got to go through a lot of work, and that's what Article 5 is about. It's how they can do that. So back in the 1800s and early 1900s, only men could vote. All right, so is that fair in a country that's all about fairness and equality? No, so a lot of women fought for the right to vote, and they changed it in the Constitution. So now the Constitution says you cannot tell people that they can't vote based on their gender. So now men and women can vote. All right, Article 6, so it's 5 plus 1 is 6. Says the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. So we know that supreme means the highest, right? So supreme means the best. There's nothing higher than that. So you can't say, well, the law says this according to Connecticut. Nope. The Constitution is the highest. There's no higher. There's no better. There's no other. Sorry, I'm just trying to have a little fun. All right, so the last, that's not important. Article 7, so VII, 5 plus 2 is 7, says the Constitution will be the law if 9 states ratify it. So back when they were creating the country, there was only 13 states, 13 estados. So what did they have to do? Well, they said 2/3 of the states are needed to say we like the Constitution, because ratify means approve. So if you approve something, if you ratify means approve. So if you're approving something, you're accepting it. You're saying, I'm allowing that to happen. So if your parents approve you to go to the movies, they're saying you can go to the movies. So that means 9 states were needed to ratify the Constitution so that it can actually become the new law of the land. Because before we made the Constitution, there was a different government, and it failed quite miserably. Quite miserably. All right, so all 13 states approved the Constitution between the years of 1787 and 1790. Because remember, in English, when we're saying the years, we don't say 1787. It's just a little weird, even though that's the correct number. But in English, we say 1787, 1790, or the year 2020 was when coronavirus hit and I was teaching from a computer. And one day, people are going to watch these videos and make fun of me. Or you're going to watch it tomorrow and make fun of me. Either way, someone's going to make fun of me. All right, so the first state to say we like the Constitution was a really small state called Delaware. So Delaware está estado below us. So I need my map. Okay, so Delaware is un pequeño, muy poquito, okay? Actually, they're the smallest state in the... No, they're not. My bad. Second smallest state, like size-wise, in the country. And they were the first, primero, to approve the Constitution. Rhode Island, which is the actual smallest state in the country, was the last. So Rhode Island was the 13th. Delaware was the first. All right. Okay, so that's it for today. If you could just take notes on all that information. If you missed anything while I was going through it, you can look at the PowerPoint on the website I provided you. I gave you a link, okay? If you have any questions, let me know. I hope you're all staying safe and healthy and happy. And if you have any problems, please don't be afraid to email me. If you have any questions and you want to email me and maybe you don't know how to say it in English, you could type it in Spanish on Google Translate and then send it to me, okay? And then I'll try and talk back with you in your language. Except you, Dior, you know English. And don't go outside right now, it's snowing. But just make sure you're washing your hands as levante los manos, mucha, I don't know. But I really miss all of you, and I hope you're all healthy and happy. And please don't be afraid to reach out if you need anything, okay? I miss you all so much. Goodbye.